second race in the round of 16 for National Sim Racing League Cup Series comes to the Richmond Raceway in beautiful Richmond, Virginia. It's the Commonwealth State, and it is round number 28 of the National Sim Racing League Cup Series. We welcome you to live coverage of the Richmond 250. Good evening, friends. Marty Sakala with you, and we are just about set to go racing here at Richmond. And with that being said, let's give you the starting lineup for tonight's race. 22 drivers are set to take the green flag, and here's how they'll line up. Yellow means that they are playoff drivers. Landon Lacey and Aiden Bearline make up the front row. Row number 2, Dylan Clark and Briggs Swope. Row 3, it's Don DeGroot and Mark Sikosi. And in row number 4, Brian Preslar and Brian Wiggins. Row 5, Steve Stripmatter and Jeremy Zarfos, the latter making his debut. And in row number 6, Justin Diltz and Josh Susi. A look ahead at row number 6, where you'll find Justin Diltz. Look ahead at row number 7, you'll find Kayla McCarthy and Stan Mayberry. Row number 8, Josh Aaron and David Smeal. Row 9 is Tyler Isley and Chris Lynn. Actually, Lynn, I think, decided, you know what, he's going to qualify. So that will move Alex Robinson up into the 18th starting position. And in row number 10 is where you will find Alan Crowell and Tom Pera. Jimmy Barr starts from last in the number 6 machine tonight. So as we get set to go racing here tonight, let's talk about the point standings coming on in. All the points have been reset. One driver in the playoffs did not race. That was Daniel Menzies. He, again, not in the lineup for tonight as we know of. Josh Susi, with a win last week, is locked into the playoffs for the next round in the round of 12. So currently the first 4 out are Josh Aaron, Brian Wiggins, Tom Pera, and Daniel Menzies. Brian Preslar currently up 3 spots above the cutoff. Kyle Milliken is up 4. Jimmy Barr with 32 compared to the 21. Ryan Broderick 34. Justin Diltz 36. Dylan Clark 44. Alan Crowell 45. Briggs Swope 46. Tyler Isley 51. Kayla McCarthy 53. And Mark Sikosi at 55 laps. If you just missed it, here is how the race rundown looks. 250 laps around Richmond Raceway. Stages will end at lap 75, 150, and of course the race ending. 3/4 mile oval here with 14 degrees of banking in the turns, seating 51,000. 6 tire sets here around Richmond, which will definitely be needed today. A look at our weather forecast here before we take the green flag. It is a day to night transition. We're about to take the green flag just before 6 p.m. Eastern Time. 79 degrees is the track temp, 78 is the air temp, and I'll tell you for sure that the track temp will be going down for sure by the end of the night. Sunset's definitely something you'll have to watch closely as you ride on board. From Landon Lacey's perspective, the sun has actually started to set behind the grandstands as we get set to take the green flag. So 20 drivers will take the green flag. I am assuming Josh Susi, who did not make the call to grid. What I am assuming here is that Susi will be waiting for 5 seconds and then will make his way back out. Couple of things here you want to watch closely. 4th gear and getting back on the throttles, and then also the blend line during pit exit if we see that tonight. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, as the iRacing pace car makes the left-hand turn into pit road. Aiden Bearline, Landon Lacey make up the front row, and here we go, showtime for the Commonwealth of Richmond. It is Landon Lacey off the jump with a great start. Aiden Bearline second, top 4 single file. And then you have a scrum for 5th position. Don DeGroot looking inside on Mark Sikosi. Talked with Sikosi before the race, and he said that he had a car that did not feel well to him. So DeGroot lost some time to Sikosi. Here comes Brian Wiggins looking around the outside, trying to take away the 6th spot, and Wiggins has it. Again, that's a driver who is currently below the cutoff. Battle for the lead trying to heat up here early between Lacey and Bearline. We got quick laps here. Aiden Bearline just put down the fastest lap of the race so far early. Right on board with the number 13 machine. Only one groove here will work at Richmond, and that, of course, is the lower groove. High side, a place you do not want to be at all throughout the night. Let's go behind them and watch Dylan Clark and Mark Zakosi battle. Now, this is an interesting scheme here. First off, on that side of the car, Dylan, I like you, but that scheme sucks. Because number one, go Bills, and number two, go Syracuse. Here goes Wiggins to the inside. Oh, boy, he got way tight and makes some contact with the 34 of Clark. That got a little bit too close for comfort. Forced its way up into the 5th position. I don't know what to think about those moves there that Brian Wiggins just put on. Don DeGroot, though, losing a lot of time for sure. Currently in the 8th position, has an extremely tight car to begin the evening. Lacey and Bearline, update on them, still battling for the race lead. Quarter of a second separates them. They are both not in the playoffs at all this season. Bearline didn't win a race or hit the 13 required races. Lacey only having the ladder to deal with. Briggswell currently 3rd, Mark Zakosi 4th, Brian Wiggins in 5th. Aiden Bearline, I've been told, is from Virginia, 45 minutes from here. So this is a race that he had circled on the calendar and a race he really wants to win badly. Great racing all around. Here's Jeremy Zarfos driving the number 21 iRacing, but numbered as number 4, so got to get that fixed. Currently running 11th. Good qualifying run for him in his debut, considering it is his first start on the year. Diltz.
Through.
Justin Diltz, I think, got an easy way through by Jeremy Zarfos and says thanks for the room. Diltz, good finish with a good finish last week to put him 8th in the playoff standings. So we'll see how he does here. Here comes Brian Preslar in at 67 inside on Dylan Clark. And Preslar with an easy pass there to take the spot away. Everyone's staying single file at the moment. The high side, again, no man's land for right now. So if that lower groove is open to you and you find a hole, try and take advantage of it. Tyler Isley decided to start from the rear of the field and has currently made its way up to 14th. One of the few biggest movers we've got of the race so far from the drop of the green, as we're 9 laps in the books. And you see Isley looking to go around the outside in front of them. Here's Stan Mayberry inside on Justin Diltz. Right on board with the number 99. See ahead of him is Don DeGroot, the Canadian, in the 20. And Diltz tries to find a line back in line. Yes, he does. Tucks it in. Everyone using the single groove. Talked with a lot of drivers before the race, and they said this is a track where you're going to want 4th gear. I don't think anyone really using 5th gear at all in this race today. Drivers as well have also been saying it is a very tough track with this new short track package on iRacing. Mayberry to the inside on Don DeGroot. Takes away the 9th spot away. Mayberry currently the biggest mover of the race, up 5 positions, started in 14th. Steve Stripmatter's been on the charge, making some good moves as well. He is in the 5th position. Oh, someone! Was that Robinson that pounded the wall? It was. He was already a lap down, and like the brakes just literally locked up for the driver of the number 23. That is extremely strange to see that happen. Robinson already a lap down in his Toyota. I would not be surprised if he took that car into the pits. Thinking about it, you'll see here if he did any damage on the right side of the car. Surprisingly, he did not. He locked the brakes up, but almost got into the wall. Battle is on for 11th position. Justin Diltz and Josh Aaron. Diltz gets sideways off of turn 2, doing a little bit of dirt tracking. Could open the door for Tyler Isley, who tries to take advantage of it early, and Diltz lets him have the lower groove, but a better exit. That's one of the great parts about racing here at Richmond. This is a track, even though that low groove is pretty much the place to be. I know we said that's the only groove everyone wants to go on. If you're racing hard, there could be the chance for side-by-side racing throughout every single part of this track. But you don't want to give too much of the width up to your opponent. You got to try and race hard, race clean, and race close if you want to keep that side-by-side racing. The example I give to you, you go back to the 2008 Cup race at Richmond in the spring when Kyle Busch and Dale Jr. McCarthy and Diltz are sideways and a nice save. Man, that got close. I don't even think they'll get an off track for it at all, but Justin Diltz, Kayla McCarthy, oh so close to getting together. I do not know how they saved it. Let's go to a battle here for 9th position. Dylan Clark and Josh Aaron right on board with the DraftKings 77. And even see what it's like in the rearview mirror. I'm so glad we can see how it looks on the rear view. Get a better perspective of how it looks behind. That's not just the rear view mirror, also the in-car camera. As Dylan Clark lets Aaron go by. Another driver loose in front of them. I want to say that's Wiggins, or that may be Preslar actually. That is Preslar in that 67. And I think Wiggins just let 2 drivers go, Preslar and Mayberry. So Preslar currently running in the 6th position. Last week, in case you missed us, it was Mark Sikosi who had the dominant first 2 stages, but then we got into the long run where he just had nothing. Josh Susi was able to take home the win for his 6th win of the season in a crazy race. A heartbreak, though, coming from Brig Swope and Alan Crowell, as they were in a battle looking to get their best finish of the season. They finished back in 5th and 6th. Justin Diltz in the 19 had a surprising podium finish to take home 3rd. And Kayla McCarthy coming home in 2nd spot. Oh, trouble behind. The one driver just went sideways. And saving that is Jimmy Barr. Had a little bit of Kyle Larson magic as it's that flow race at number 6. That rear end still getting squirrely in the center of the corner. That got oh so close to being disastrous there. Let's see if we can show you the replay on what happened. Just lost it all by himself. Too much full throttle and makes a nice save. Got to be careful. Too much steering to the right can lead to that car overcorrecting, but just had the proper amount of right wheel in it and got the car back going. Landon Lacey continues to lead. He's led them all so far in this race. Just about a 2-second lead on Aiden Bearline. Josh Susi, one of the drivers to start from the rear and also start from the pits, looking on David Smeal for 11th position. 12th place was where he decided, I don't even think he decided to take time at all. However, though, big race for him. Try and just get himself set for the round of 12, of course. Not a lot of short tracks in the round of 12, of course. On the list, you've got, I don't even know the schedule from the top of my head. See how stupid I am? You got Las Vegas, Talladega, and the Charlotte Roval, so a track that really drivers he will not need to really prepare for. All he can just really worry about is just racing his own races, and he's got what could break out as calamity with Smeal, Isley, and Wiggins. You saw Smeal go like 3 grooves up the track to a groove you don't want to be at where the marbles are right next to the wall. And this could cost him 11th to 12th and last week's winner, and it will. Susi, though, just getting loose off of turn number 2. So that's going to be something you're going to have to watch closely when we get into a long run. And yes, we are 27 laps complete into this race. We'll have to see how the tires go. I believe this is about a 75 to 85 lap fuel stint. So they can go clean here throughout stage 1. And stage 1 ends at lap number 75. Here's Susie trying to fight back on the inside. Something you got to watch. I talked about the exits of these corners. The next gen completely drives different. Oh, trouble behind them. And Susie gets front end damage from the 23 of a lap car on Alex Robinson. And nobody's going to like that at all if they got damage, especially Susie. And he got him sideways there. If I'm Robinson, I'm parking it. Don't want to be racing like that. It's Robinson has brought his number 23 machine in. Let's go to a replay and show you what happened there. Gonna have to rewind it. He's on the low groove here, as you can see. Lane drivers go by, and he made contact with someone, and Susie had nowhere to go. Who was that driver? I was with that lap car. That's Isley, and Robinson's not going to like that. I should say, rather, Isley's not going to like that. So he is currently in the pits at the moment. And so continuing on, Landon Lacey continuing to lead at the moment. Go beyond the field here. So the front end damage Susie suffered has put him back a spot to 13th position. Kayla McCarthy was able to get by and make the pass. Tyler Isley fell back to 11th due to that. Still making a nice charge, though, up through the field. Brian Wiggins loose off his wheel. Can he save it? Yes, he can. Up, still loose, though. That got close. So a nice save from Wiggins as well stay green and almost ran up into Dylan Clark. A surprise start that the KTS drivers did not want. Dylan Clark currently in 13th. Kayla McCarthy in 12th. Josh Susie is in 11th. Landon Lacey currently leading. They were the top 4 in practice. Susie was thinking for a moment about going 3 wide for that 9th position. Something as well you got to watch closely on the exits of the corners. The next gen cars drive completely different than the predecessors in the Gen 6, especially on the exit. The cars kind of drive a lot similar to a super late model, especially when it comes to throttle control. So 35 laps are currently complete at the moment, and it's Landon Lacey, your race leader, and look at this. All the cars he has put on the lead lap. This is a beatdown at the moment. He has put he has left 12 drivers on the lead lap at the moment. So here is how it looks as we are currently 36 laps in the books. We'll step aside, go side by side for the first time tonight. If trouble breaks out, we'll break back in. Stay with us at Richmond. Back here at live coverage of the National Sim Racing League Cup Series from the Richmond Raceway as Landon Lacey continues to lead. Only 10 drivers currently on the lead lap. Alex Robinson says, what a waste at the moment. Yeah, I feel bad for you, brother. Robinson has parked the car for the day after contact with Tyler Isley and Josh Zusi. We're probably going to see something a lot similar to this with a lot of drivers a lap down when we go to Bristol next week. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in your heads when we go to Bristol next week. 75 lapper in stage 1. So we're just approaching 30 laps to go. There's a good battle starting to develop here for the 8th position, with the guys with a pair of S's in their names, Stan Mayberry and Steve Strittmatter. Currently right now, fastest lap belongs to Strittmatter at a 22.85. Mayberry, though, has been on the charge. He started in the 14th position and has made his way up to 8th. So you look at Mayberry there on your screen and his 8th start on the season. Best finish, looking for his first top 10 of the year. Best finish is 14th. That came in his first 2 starts at Gateway and New Hampshire. Gateway, which is Worldwide Technology Raceway, so that gap has started to increase just a little bit. Best battle on track here, you see it's for the 11th position between David Spiel and Jeremy Zarfos, and just confirming here that was for the free pass spot, but it will be soon. So it's Spiel and Zarfos battling for 11th as you watch this on your screen. Zarfos, nice start to his debut so far. I believe he does have a donut on his left side. There was contact earlier. Don't know if that had to do with the Isley Susie Robinson situation, but I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that 100%. You're right on board here with Zarfos in the number 21 today. Oh, way tight there for Smeal. He's been doing that a lot. I don't know if Zarfos got the memo there for sure. They both just had a mistake there in turn number 3. And they both did. Update on Brian Wiggins, and he is in the pits. And not sure what is going on with his machine. You see he does have a little bit of right side damage. Maybe perhaps an early stop. This is not what Wiggins wanted. Coming on in, he's 4 points below the cutoff, and Brian Preslar running in the 5th position. Kicking butt at the moment. You see Wiggins does have some right side damage. There have been a couple of times there was contact. I think, you know what, that was a drive-through penalty. That was a drive-through penalty for hitting a specific incident limit. And that is the confirmation. Wiggins is penalized already with the confirmation through our race director, Chris Lynn, and he's coming in once again. This time it may have been speeding. Taking a look here, and I'd assume this would be a penalty for speeding. Nope, this time he's coming in. He's bringing it in. He has the 8th pit stall. So Wiggins is in just to change tires, and even worse, he overshoots the stall. Night goes from bad to worse currently for the driver of the number 1. Brian Preslar having a good race so far, currently in that 67. Finishing 19th last week at Darlington. Hasn't driven the best of the teams. However, though, when we went to, I think it was it's confirming here. It was Indianapolis where he had 5 incident points and Gateway 13. But his best finish came at Indy with a 7th. Second best was a 7th place finish at Indy. And the best finish was 5th at Gateway. Off to a good start, currently in 5th position. And the more drivers get trapped a lap down, So currently we have 8 drivers on the lead lap. First car in front of Lacey is his teammate in Kayla McCarthy. I don't know if he wants to lap her at the moment. We'll see what happens though. While we're at, let's give a shout out to a couple of people watching. The Aiden Barreline fan club watching of Race a Girl and D-Fast. Having a good time at the moment. Caution is out first time this evening, and Justin Dilt has spun it in turn number 2. Doesn't look like a lot of damage to the driver of the number 19, but we will take a look at the replay to see what brought our first caution. A great start to the evening. 57 laps, and we get the first yellow. Steve Stripmatter is the free pass car as Dilt just had a big wheel hop entering turn 1. Just lost control of the car. Right on board with the driver of the 19. Tokyo Drift. And a good job by Dilts to keep it off the wall and also to just not even go for a steer to the right to try, because that would risk a big overcorrect and pound the car in the wall. Leaders are in the pits. Landon Lacey. Landon Lacey brings them into pit road. And so we will watch the leaders stop, and I think everyone decided they're going to come in. So this will be interesting to watch closely when we get to the end of the stage if anyone stays out at the stage break. So Lacey wins the race off pit road over Barreline, and the driver that was on the free pass will check and see if he brings it into pit road this time. He just took his wave around. And so Stripmatter will bring the 51 into the pits this time. Lap cars are all pretty much came in. David Smeal, Josh Aaron, and Dylan Clark stayed out, so they will take a risk on older tires. They will get a wave around the pace car and start tail end on the lead lap. Those are the only 3 drivers from what we know will receive that wave around. Check here and see if this is 1 to green or 2 laps to green. We'll wait to see here in this situation. So lights are still on. We'll step aside real quick and let you listen to the listen to race control at the moment. So we'll be right back. So we are ready to come back to the green for this restart. Reset the field here for you. After the first yellow of the evening, it's Landon Lacey, Aiden Bearline, row 1. Mark Sikosi, Briggs Wolf, row 2. Brian Preslar, Stan Mayberry, Keelan McCarthy, Steve Stripmatter, Josh Susi, David Smeal. That's the top 10. Back to green. So Lacey fired and Bearline kept track with them, and they are side by side for this race lead. And I thought for a moment Lacey was going to try and race him in 1 and 2, but now he may try it on the exit. Nice exit by the number 13. See what happens here in the corner. And currently a car length and a half at the moment. One driver out of the race, that is Alex Robinson. Everyone else still on track. Currently 12 drivers are on the lead lap. We're watching that battle for the lead really closely between the top two, right on board from the rear of Landon Lacey. Looks like Lacey is better on, Bearline better on the exits. On the entry, I think it's Lacey though. Oh, bad corner from Lacey. Bearline trying to take advantage. Here we go for the lead. Bearline didn't take advantage. I'm surprised they didn't want to take the risk and go to the inside. He just gave Lacey a get out of jail free card there. They continue to go at it. Best battle on the track. Second best battle is a quarter of a second. And the battle for 5th position between Preslar and Mayberry. Lacey trying to increase this lead. Lap times looking just about faster by 300ths that last time across the start-finish line. But again, a higher entry for Landon Lacey, helping out Aiden Bearline in turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Looking, again, just a lower entry by Bearline, using more of those tires though. Let's go back to the 10th position as we've got 7 laps to go in stage 1. Currently it is David Smeal in the 29 with the final stage point. Currently up by 1.5 seconds on Josh Aaron. The car ahead for insurance points is Steve Stripmatter, and he just gripped the wall though. Nope, pardon me, that was another car out there on the track. Let's watch the battle for, this is now P6. Kayla McCarthy starting to close in on Mayberry. McCarthy coming off of a 2nd place finish at Darlington last week. Helped her out big time in the playoffs. Only 1 win for McCarthy this season though, so low on playoff points. Her lone win came at Fontana in the year, back when the Super Speedway package was at 550. You can see what the low downforce package looks like as we enter the season, which will be used at I believe Phoenix will be the first race you'll see this used this season for the NASCAR Cup Series with the low downforce and 675 horsepower. To me, I think that will be used at all the tracks, but I think the intermediates would just have just a little bit more downforce to them. So we'll see 3 laps to go this time. Don't forget pits closed at the end of stage 1. Free pass car currently Alan Crowell at the moment, and the gap between him and Don DeGroot is a half second. We'll have to watch that battle closely when we come to the yellow to end stage 1. This battle's still not over for the green, white checkered flag. That's coming between 2 drivers that aren't even in the playoffs. So this could be a race where you could see candidates spoil the party of their opponents. Mark Sikosi currently the highest playoff driver in 3rd position, again on the leaderboard. All the drivers with the yellow backgrounds, that means they are in the playoffs. Of course, next week at Bristol will be the final race. Everyone is guaranteed to have a yellow background before we eliminate 4 of those starting next week. And we got trouble. Brian Wiggins, excuse me, nope. I think we were good there. May have just been a lag situation. Nope, that was from a couple minutes ago. I'm sorry. Final lap here in stage number 1. And this should be a clean sweep for Landon Lacey. Maybe not. He goes wide. Aiden Bearline with a run. But a better exit for Landon Lacey. He'll win stage 1. And so that will end the stage.
That's the end of stage 1.
And bring up the second yellow of the day. David Smeal, final stage point. Alan Crowell, the free pass car. Pit stops coming up in just a moment if we have them. Stay with us in the National Sim Racing League. You're watching the leaders in the pit road. Every driver on the lead lap came in. And so Landon Lacey wins the race off of pit road. Pardon me. Alan Crowell, I think. Unless that is a glitch. Nope, that is a glitch on our screen. Remember, Crowell took the lucky dog there. So, from what we know, everybody went to pit road, so it will be Landon Lacey. Checking ahead if we do have any wave around cars, and we do. You see one of them on your screen. That is Brian Wiggins, and checking the other two, Tyler Isley is one of them. The other one is Justin Dilt, so those three will get a wave around, and that will put Isley back on the lead lap, but it won't for Wiggins or Dilt. So Landon Lacey, your race leader, to begin stage 2 in just a moment. And we'll continue our break. Stay with us.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
We're right on time as we are ready to begin stage number 2. It is Landon Lacey and Aiden Bearline, the front row. We are ready to go back to the green flag for the restart. Front row, stay nose and tail And Bearline tucks it back in line. Mark Sikosi looking for third back on Briggs Swope. He gets it. And it's Brian Preslar that wants to take advantage as well. Mayberry way tight entering turn number 3. Kayla McCarthy wants to take advantage of it on Steve Strickmatter, who earlier in the night was a lap down. Set stage only. Without the stage ending, only 1 yellow in that stage, so a great start from the drivers here in that race. There were only at least 8 cars that were on the lead lap that entire time. And now we are currently up to 14 on the lead lap thanks to a couple of wave arounds. DraftKings teammates, how about them? They're having a great day so far. Briggs Swope 4th, Brian Preslar is 5th. Josh Aaron is in 10th. This is a race that they cannot be disappointed on for sure. Probably one of the best stages yet at a track that is not a super speedway. Landon Lacey, best lap of his day today at a 22:51. Fastest lap is Bearline at a 22:46. 4 other drivers with PRs. That is Mayberry, Stripmatter, Smeal, and Aaron that last time by. So they continue to work their marks out there. Oh, trouble, Brian Wiggins. And he has gotten into the inside wall, it looks like, and it's brought the baby into the pits. And let's go to the replay and show you what happened here. Did he lose it off of 2? Yep. Ooh, that is a shot you don't want to see. Driver's side into a concrete barrier. Yep, Lynn just said it there, all of DraftKings. Good stuff for those guys tonight so far, that is for sure. Josh Aaron, by the way, in the 10th position, and he wants 9th on David Smeal Jr. Smeal, to me, has been looking like he's had a really tight car this evening, yet is running in the 9th position. Tight usually doesn't work for you well here at a track like Richmond, and this time it is loosened too. Oh, man. Held his breath there, and Josh Aaron takes advantage of it for sure. A race with a driver that makes the least amount of mistakes will probably be the driver that goes to victory lane. You're seeing that with Landon Lacey so far, who has led all the laps tonight. There's Stan Mayberry in that number 99, Steve Strickmatter in the number 51. Strickmatter has been really a dark horse in races this season. Only 4 starts on the year. Best finish, a 5th that came at Twin Ring Motegi. Currently in the 7th position. One of the most improved drivers this season so far, if you count the last 4 races that he's been a part of. Joined the season at Indianapolis where he finished in 16th. Twin Ring Motegi perhaps definitely is best race, not in terms of finishing position, but also by incident points. Had a clean 0x race, so definitely a day he loved to see. Alan Crowell trying to take advantage of David Smeal Jr. following his loosey-goosey car. And doesn't seem to be that way for Smeal at the moment. But it does seem to be the way for Jeremy Darfos, currently a lap down the 21. And tries to take advantage of Don DeGroot 4th position. 15th spot is on the line. In front of them, though, Briggs Swope, Kayla McCarthy. McCarthy trying to take advantage around the outside. Gets by Briggs Swope. And that's to get by the slow car of Tom Pera in the 16. McCarthy, an improved day, started in 13th, nearly went a lap down, and currently up in the 7th position. While we are currently on these long runs, Chris Lane says that he loves seeing Aiden challenge Landon. Hope he keeps it up. Yeah, I definitely hope he does. This is by far Aiden's best run at the moment. Again, hometown kid in this race, based out of Virginia. He lives 45 minutes away from Richmond. Back to the Mayberry Strickmatter battle with Brian Preslar in front of them. I'll tell you, Wiggins, by the way, left pit road after getting into the wall. Closest battle on track. And speaking of Wiggins, He has brought the one back in the pits again. And this time he jumped it into the pits, and this is maybe where Wiggins is going to call it a night here. Oh, well, that is strange. It's like the car, it just stalled so many times out of the pits, and the night for Wiggins goes from bad to worse. The number one in the 20th position, now 12 laps down on your screen. You do not want to see that at the moment, especially when Wiggins comes in 4 points below the cutoff, and Brian Preslar are currently in the 4th position and is currently kicking butt. Facing a challenge as well from Mayberry in a battle for that 4th position. Strip Matter also wanting to be a part of that battle too. So Wiggins has left pit lane from the looks of it, and he has. So we're about to get into the century mark of lap 100, and while we are at it there, let's give you a full field rundown. Again, you see all the drivers on the left side of your screen, and we'll also show you where your favorite driver is on the track. So it's Landon Lacey currently as your race leader. Aiden Barrowline running in the 2nd position, and as he laps Justin Deltz. Mark Sikosi currently in 3rd. Brian Preslar is 4th. Stan Mayberry 5th. Steve Stripmatter is in 6th. Briggs Swope 7th position. Josh Aaron is 8th. Kayla McCarthy back in 9th position now. And David Smeal 10th. In the 11th spot, Alan Crowell. 12th, Josh Susi. 13th, Tyler Isley. 14th is Dylan Clark. 15th, Jeremy Zarfo. 16th is Don DeGroot. 17th on track, Justin Diltz. 18th, Jimmy Barr. 19th, Tom Para. Brian Wiggins is in 20th. And out of the race in 21st position is Alex Robinson. So Kayla McCarthy currently back in the 9th position. Let's show you what happened to her a couple of moments ago. Look at that. Got loose off of turn number 2. Let's get you another angle. Lost it on the apron and makes a great save. Drivers have been doing that a lot tonight in turn 2. Could be the Calamity Corner, and I'm really impressed that even though the drivers have been getting way loose tonight, we've only seen one spin in this race. The Mayberry Strip Matter battle on for 5th. Two Fords that I am assuming one of them looks like a Dodge, and yes. Strip Matter again having a good start to this race. Both of them with late starts to the season, late appearances, and have made their way up. Oh, one car up in the wall, and I think that's Para in the 16. And it is. Not been a night for Tom Para. That's he's wanted. Of course, Para, normally a back marker, but always a surprise when needed, like when he finished in the, I think, was it a top 5 or a top 10 finish that one night at Iowa. It was a top 5 finish at Iowa, and then finished 9th at Pocono. So you never know in number 16. But just continues to ride the wall. He's 5 laps down at the moment. Speaking of purple cars, Josh Aaron closing in on Kayla McCarthy. As I believe McCarthy McCarthy just made a pass for 8th position on the track. And here is how that got done. Aaron just lets Kayla have the spot, and Kayla makes it look easy. So currently working on lap 108 as Landon Lacey puts his teammate Dylan Clark a lap down. And so we will step aside once again. Lacey, Bearline, Sikosi, Preslar, and Mayberry, the top 5, will step aside. Stay with us. We're back here with the Richmond 250 here live at Richmond Raceway in Richmond, Virginia. Next week we are at the Bristol Motor Speedway for the cutoff race in the round of 16. You don't want to miss that start time, 8:45 p.m. on National Sim Racing League's Facebook page and twitch.tv/Marty Sakala. Just a couple of moments ago, Tom Pera reports that he may have had an issue. Let's take a look and show you what happened. Here he is coming in at turn number 1 as he loses it in turn 1 and makes a great save. And that could have been deemed a yellow flag, but I am glad iRacing did not throw it out, neither did Chris Lynn. And right there is just yellow worthy. I believe as well, Parra just came in too to serve a penalty for too many incident points. So Landon Lacey continuing to lead. His gap is up to 4 seconds and has left Alan Crowell as the last car currently on the lead lap. Tyler Isley, the first car, a lap down at the moment if a yellow does come out here. Here's the Steve Strittmatter, Stan Mayberry battle we've been keeping you up to date on. Brian Preslar is still a part of it, just 0.8 of a second behind. I tell you something, we've been putting on some good racing so far. Staying consistent with the lap times, not letting Mayberry get too far away from him, and Mayberry still having to deal with Strittmatter in his rearview mirror. And good racing at the moment. Last week's winner, Josh Susi, the guy that we did not expect to win last week at Darlington after watching Mark Sikosi dominate. Josh Susi currently in the 10th position. Again, you're wondering, even with 2 yellows, and he didn't spin out how to get that damaged front end. Alex Robinson, while trying to let slow traffic by, made contact with Tyler Isley and then caused a huge stack of accordion effect, and Susi had nowhere to go in that. So he's been suffering some front end drive for this entire race, hoping to get some optional repair during his pit stops. Currently in 10th and make that the 9th position. Josh Aaron lets him go by. Now Josh Aaron currently with the final stage point, as he's got 1.5 seconds ahead of David Smeal. We're under 30 laps to go in stage number 2. So just keep that in mind there for those wondering at home. Mark Sikosi in the 3rd position, been consistent inside the top 5 all day today. Hopefully he's got a long run set up for him. He does not really like his car on a long run, but this is, I guess, what you could consider a long run because the pit window is in that 80 to 90 range. So if we do stay green, that we could be in a scenario where we would have 1 green flag stop. So just keep that in mind. Stan Mayberry, meanwhile, is closing in fast on Mark Sikosi, as Mayberry looks like he's having a little bit of blinking issues. You see how slower Sikosi's been in these last couple laps. Oh, trouble. Couple of drivers off the track. Kayla McCarthy, I think, is one of them. Same with Brian Preslar and Justin Diltz. And no caution for that either. They let them go. They all kept it straight somehow. Show you what happened here. Preslar just got into Diltz. What in the world happened? That is extremely strange. So let's rewind you. So starting off of turn number 2. Preslar goes to the inside to try and lap Justin Diltz. Ooh, Preslar just didn't have any steering at all. Swope gets by. So bumper, and then, yeah. I would personally, let's ride on board the cockpit. Let's ride on board the cockpit of Preslar here to see what he was doing for steering. Watch the wheel. That's beyond 45 degrees. Like, I don't think, knowing Brian Preslar, wouldn't really be a guy that would dump someone. But that was extremely strange in that situation. And the biggest loser in all of that is Kayla McCarthy. She decides to come down pit road, and what looked to be a great day for her has put herself all the way back to 17th spot. While we were looking at that, a couple of things we'll take a look at right here on your screen. The first one you're seeing is an extremely tight Mark Sikosi in 4th position. Let's show you how the pass for 3rd was done by Stan Mayberry. Side by side, entering turn 1. I think Sikosi just let him go. And then for 5th, Briggs Swope in the 7. Don't think he got rear-end damage, front-end damage for hitting his teammate, but a nice, easy pass for Swope, strip matter. Lets him go by smooth. Swope trying to answer back after going out in the final laps at Darlington, where we were having an incredible long stage 3 run, and then got caught up in a wreck with Jimmy Barr while battling for, I think it was the 3rd position, bringing out the yellow. And that was a crazy wreck like we've never seen before. So, Josh Susi starting to make his way up through the pack. Starting to see the same old story from last week, possibly at Darlington. Go from the rear, move your way up to the front. He edges out strip matter at the line for 6th position. A lot of time, 18 laps to go in stage 2. Currently the first car a lap down is Josh Aaron, and he is battling David Smeal for that lucky dog spot, as strip matter currently in 7th spot. For those wondering where Landon Lacey is, It's currently a distance back, so I don't know if he'll be caught. But watch that battle closely here for that lucky dog spot, and Smeal's looking to get by. And he gets the 8th position. Also looking back at Alan Crowell, currently in 10th, distance ahead of Brian Preslar, about 2 3/4 of a second. But back to the Smeal-Aaron battle for the 8th spot on track. Both of them nearly get up in the wall. And a better 3 and 4 from Smeal. Update you on Mark Sikosi with 15 laps to go in the stage. Car this time really tight compared to last week when the car was loose. Let's ride on board with him. See the lap times here on your screen as well. You can see too that it's varying around because Swope's car, I think Swope has lost his car as well. Justin Diltz has put his 19 car in the pits. Quarter of a second faster at least, and yeah, you see how tight that car is going up into that second group. Brig Swope, by the way, for those wondering, is a half second. The Swope a quarter of a second faster. Half second faster. He is there. So this battle for 4th about to take shape, make it a 3-way battle for 4th. Josh Susie, where in the world did he come from? And there you have it. Sikosi is all the way back to the 5th, now make it 6th position. That's a tough break. Just does not have a car built to last an entire stage. Needs those yellows. And that's what we have seen a lot this season. Races for having a bunch of yellows, but in these past 2 or 3 races, the drivers have definitely improved on being clean. Because in this season, we have gone from a quick repair to many incident limits to no quick repairs and strict incident limits. Josh Susie looking on Brig Swope for 4th. So we've got 10 laps to go in stage 2. And a nice pass for Susie. Strip Matter, by the way, a lap down. So he's currently the lucky dog at the moment. Big gap on Smeal and Aaron. Something that they did not want to see. Meanwhile, Preslar closing in on Crowell by about a second on track. So Mark Sikosi currently at the tail of the lead lap. Let's get you the map here on your screen to see if we can find the leader of the 25. Just crossed the start-finish line. He's just that blue car in the background. So can he hold on for 8 more laps? Make it 7 more laps. By the way, we are halfway home here at Richmond. Now Josh Susie wants the 3rd position on Stan Mayberry. Even when we thought that front end got beat up pretty good, guess what? He may have had a good luck charm there when I said that. Josh Susie went from the top 10 to the top 5 in probably a span of 10 minutes. I'll actually say, let's see here. Susie made the pass for 10th at 53 minutes. So it took him 11 minutes to get up from the top 10 to the top 3. That's incredible. What a drive he's got right now. But now can he work on the top two when we begin stage 3 of Landon Lacey and Aiden Bearline? Update you on Sikosi. Trying to find Lacey here on track, and he's right behind him. It's the white car. Even if he goes a lap down, he could be the free pass car, but Mayberry's right there. Again, that would be tough. Strip Matter currently the free pass car at the moment. 3 to go in the stage. Landon Lacey's led all of the laps so far in this contest. And it's been an incredible drive for him so far. We thought Aiden Bearline would be a contender, but it seems that would be the way in the shorter parts of the race. But once you get that long run, that's where Lacey goes for the punches. Pits are close in stage number 2. So Lacey looking like he will put a lap on Sikosi. Sikosi though just trying to stay in the fight. Final lap, and I think Lacey's got him. And he does. Not what Steve Stripmatter wanted at all. Alan Crowd, by the way, passed Josh Aaron for the 9th position on the track. You can tell you that for sure. But off of turn 4, Landon Lacey will have 6 drivers on the lead lap when we come back. The green flag. 100 laps to go. And pit stops are around the corner. We will be right back. Stay with us, folks.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Leaders are in for pit stops. And I think everybody is in amongst the late cars. Then we'll see the lap cars come in. Again, Mark Sikosi is the free pass car here. An easy stop for Lacey wins him the race off of pit road. Waiting for second spot, that'll be Aiden Bearline, and then it will be Briggs Swope third. Stan Mayberry is fourth. Waiting for Josh Susi, who is at this point back in 6th, and yeah, we'll see Susi restart in the 5th position. I think he just wanted to take some time to get a little bit more of that front end repaired, I would assume, and then get back into it. So as everyone else comes into pit, Landon Lacey continues to lead. We'll step aside once again. We will be back. We are back, and we are one lap away from the green flag. And while we are at it, take this chance to give a shout out to our sponsors from Speed Demon Setups, Graphics, and TV, Butt Kicker, Elevate Outdoors, and Affordable SEO and Marketing. Under 100 laps to go after a caution-free Stage 2. If we go green for at least 75 laps, expect a green flag pit stop for the final moments of this race. As we come back to green, let's crank it up here. You live from Richmond. Landon Lacey brings them back to the green. Oh, trouble. Hang on. Josh Aaron's around, and we are under caution. So Aaron spins in the number 77, so that caution we anticipate in Stage 2 comes in Stage 3, and will probably begin the makeup from what happened in Stage number 2. So Aaron spins, and so the driver should be on the free pass is David Smeal, and it will. And the playoff driver, let's take a look and see what happened to the driver of the 77. You were watching it in our static perspective. He just lost it in turn 1 on the restart. And Isley just went in for the kill there. See some neck hook. Oh, Brian Wiggins lost the front end of his machine. And I think also as well at the same time, once he hit the contact, he was DQ'd for the race. From Aaron. Yep, you could see in the rearview mirror. Watch in that rearview mirror one more time. Watch, watch, watch. You see how that car appears? Brian Wigginson disappears. That's a disqualification. So free pass driver is David Smeal. We will have a couple of drivers use an extra set here. Brian Preslar, Dylan Clark, Kayla McCarthy, and Josh Aaron are in. But meanwhile, while we're at it, let's step aside and listen. So we will ride on board with Briggs Swope, currently in second position as we get ready to come back to the green flag. Aiden Bearline went back to 4th off of that restart, actually. So if we can take a look here real quick. I would like to see this perspective. So did we miss something with Bearline or something? Did he just go to the rear? Let's take a look here. Yeah, he just ran to the rear. He must have had a speeding penalty of some sort. So that put him at the rear now. That yellow helps him. It'll put him back in the 5th position. And so Swope will be in 2nd. Susie back in 3rd. Definitely what he wants. So we will step aside here once again. Again, pit stop. That green flag pit stop could still be in effect after what happened there. So we'll be right back. I'll keep it here for you. Stay tuned. Alrighty. Let's try once again. We'll crank it up for you here at Richmond. 164 laps are complete here at Richmond, and again, it is continuing to be the Landon Lacey show here, and a whooping that he has put on, looking for his 6th win of the season. That tied Josh Soucy for second most on the year. Most wins this season is Ashton Crowder, who has 7, so he's the highest of the non-playoff drivers when it comes to points. But today, Lacey, of course, Crowder not starting, of course, Lacey will overtake, then jump that route with that. One driver just set a personal best today. That is David Smeal at a 22.98, currently in the 7th position. Again, Smeal did receive the lucky dog, so he is currently back on the lead lap. To second spot we go. We were talking about how could Josh Soucy be a contender for Aiden Bearline. We're about to see what happens right here, right now. This, friends, is the battle for second, and it's on. Carlink separates the two at the moment. Let's ride on board here with Bearline. Nothing really. I think Bearline just playing it safe. His 9th start with us this season has a top 5 and 4 top 10s. His best finish came last race at Twin Ring Motegi, where he finished in the 4th position. And then he had a 6th place run at Sonoma and a 7th place run in the Charlotte Endurance race back in November. First start was at Kentucky back in October 20th, where he disconnected, but he's been running on and off with us, especially because more of his schedule these past few months were focused on the World of Outlaws iRacing Series with the 410 sprint cars. And now trying to pass the highest driver in the playoffs who won last week, Josh Soucy. Again, no need to worry about having a good day or winning. The playoff points would be great for him to use as a comfortable advantage entering the round of 12, which begins a couple weeks from now at Las Vegas. Again, if you missed us last week, Soucy took the win, so he is locked in to the round of 12. Caution is on the track. And we'll check who it's for. 5th yellow of the race. And I don't see anything at the moment, so that means we'll have to go through and see what the yellow is for. Misery TV, appreciate you tuning in. Hope you are doing well and enjoying the race so far today. And we appreciate the follow as well, man. Clark is also followed recently. We appreciate that. Same with Joe Batama. And guess what? 75 laps to go. Nobody cares about green flag pit stops anymore. Everybody is coming on in to pit for 4 tires and fuel.
Hey, Chris, can you review black flag?
Briggs Swope. Sounds like he's got a black flag that he wants to have reviewed.
Passing under yellow, but I followed.
And he passed ahead.
Passing under yellow, but I followed the leaders right in front of me into the pits.
Misery doing some race control with the league. That is, I believe that's Ethan Scott watching, so appreciate that. Lacey wins the race off pit road. Tyler Isley. Did he get the free pass? He may have, actually. I'm not too sure. And I think that's the situation. Susie came out second, Mayberry third, Aiden Bearline again. More spots lost on pit road. He's back in the 5th position. So let's figure out this yellow flag here and when this came out. We'll pause it here, and then what we'll do, we'll go through iRacing and see what happened to that yellow flag. This was a race control thrown flag. And when you have cars all scattered on around, it's tough to see where or when the yellow flies. And personally, I don't see anything. So Briggsville gets the flags clear, unless...
Thank you, sir.
When do the caution lights come on? Ah, here we go. Right there, Kayla McCarthy gets into the wall. And so because of that, caution comes out. There is contact with Smeal. That may have been actually...
Yeah, I'm just double checking it real quick.
Oh, that was a big net code situation there. There was no contact at all as McCarthy goes into the wall. So now a tough break for her. Currently in 12th position at the moment. Let's see here. We can try and step aside real quick. And we will do that real quick. We shall be right back. Under 75 to go here at Richmond. We're back to green, and we are right on time for this restart. Landon Lacey catches Josh Susi sleeping on the restart as they go at it for third between Mayberry and Sikosi. If we stay caution-free the rest of the way, then that means we will be good to go on fuel and tires. Now, if we do get yellow flags to fly, because drivers have pitted at least 4 times, like Landon Lacey, he's had 4 pit stops. Drivers have 2 to 3 sets of tires remaining where they could go for some fresh rubber, but here we go, 4th spot on the line, and this is where Aiden Bearline could lose his position to Mark Sikosi. The 91 is putting up a good fight. If you're Sikosi, you want to see cautions like maybe every 25 laps or so. So watching that battle, that's the battle on your screen for 3rd spot, 4th position. Put it like that, there you go, and you'll ride on board here with Sikosi. Trying to close in on Bearline, and also Mayberry got equal gaps, which is why that popped up like that. Got another good battle happening in the back of the field as well. And that is with Jeremy Zarfos and Jimmy Barr. They've been extremely quiet the entire day, and mostly because that they are back markers in this race. They're battling for 13th on your screen. Tyler Isley did get back on the lead lap, and I believe it was Strip Matter and Preslar that used a wave around. So we have 10 drivers currently on the lead lap. Alan Crowell is the first car a lap down if we get a caution flag before Brian Preslar gets lapped. Back to the battle for third position. About 2 car lengths separating Stan Mayberry from Aiden Bearline at the moment. But it could lead into a battle for third position. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. Everyone's staying consistent. Nobody trying to make a mistake. They've all learned how this track fights the drivers, where everyone wants to be using that low line. You don't want to get tight. You don't want to get loose. You just want that low line. That's the sweet spot to be. The lower you can go on that low line, that's where you can get some bonus entry there for sure. You know, Bearline has had so many chances tonight to take the lead on the short runs off of Landon Lacey. Even he had a chance to win stage 1 after Lacey made a mistake, but somehow won the stage. And Bearline just didn't go for full advantage of it. Now this is a battle for a podium spot on the line. Here we go. Inside for third. Near contact. He'll tuck it back in line. There's the opening. Bearline wants it to his advantage. Mayberry, though, with the line. I think Bearline can get him here next time by. Yes, he does. So move Bearline up to the final podium position. Got another battle happening on your screen, just about halfway through the back straightaway, and that is Briggs Wolf versus David Smeal. Battle for 6th position on your screen, about 3/10 separating the 29 from the number 7. You can see this time Swope wants a higher entry, but gotta be careful with Tom Para as he continues to ride the wall, and because of that, that freak out, the reaction causes Brigg to lose some time. Para, I understand he's just trying to ride around the track, but like, come on, man. We need to have a minimum speed rule. Just saying, Para is running 28-second times. Everyone else is in the 23s, and then 3 drivers are in the 22s. Like, he's hitting 123 miles an hour. I don't mean to call him out, but like, you gotta have a minimum speed rule. I don't care if this is iRacing or not. From the rear end of David Smeal, as Briggs Swope again continues to try and take advantage. Oh, look out! Was that Icy that got out of control? Yes, it was. It almost took Kayla McCarthy out with him. And McCarthy, I don't think she liked that at all, trying to use the bump and run. I got too close for comfort for a car in Isley who was turned into a modified. Pretty much that front end. Look at the radiator on that car. The grill, I should say, too. Just sticking out like that. That's something you don't really see often. So let's go back to that battle for 6th on track. Great night for David Smeal from 16th up to 6th position. In fact, 3 drivers are up 10 positions tonight. Josh Susi from 12th to 2nd. Stan Mayberry from 14th to 4th. And David Smeal from 16th to 6th. Oh, boy. Smeal gets way tight. This should be where Briggs Swope takes over. It was Swope at the line for 6th. And there's the spot. Works for Swope, and there's Perez. He'll bring that into the pits. Other good battles happening here. Dylan Clark and Josh Aaron as they're about to get lapped by the 53 of Landon Lacey. Probably the roughest night Dylan Clark has had this season. He has not shown speed at all. He started in the 3rd position, but ever since then, ever since the drop of the green flag tonight, it's gone haywire for him. So while we are at it, as Landon Lacey continues to put cars laps down, why don't we take this opportunity to give you a full field rundown and show you where the drivers are on your screen. So Landon Lacey is the race leader by 1.5 seconds on his teammate Josh Susi. Aiden Bearline currently in the 3rd position, who again having his best run this season by far. Stan Mayberry currently in the 4th position. And for Mayberry, this is also his best run by far too, currently in P4. Mark Sarkozy running in the 5th position. Rick Swope currently in P6. David Smeal is running 7th. Tyler Isley is 8th. Steve Stripmatter 9th. Brian Preslar rounding out the top 10. Alan Crowell is 11th. Kayla McCarthy is 12th. Jeremy Zarfos is 13th. Jimmy Barr is 14th. Josh Aaron running in 15th. Dylan Clark 16th. Don DeGroot is 17th. In the pits, Tom Parra is 18th. Brian Wiggins, Justin Diltz, and Alex Robinson all out of the race. So that's a look through the field as we have put 200 laps in the books. We've got 50 laps to go here in the Commonwealth of Richmond, Virginia. And once again, next week we will be at Bristol, baby, for 300 laps. I believe 300 or 250. I think it's 250 laps. Nope, 300 laps around Bristol. It is the Thunder Valley 300. Let's go back and watch the best battle on track here. The Josh Aaron, Dylan Clark battle for 15th. Yes, we do like to support those back markers too. Been the night of Josh Aaron here over Dylan Clark. Actually, correction, hasn't been the night of any of those. In fact, Aaron caused the caution to begin stage number 3, spinning off the restart in turn 2. Again, for both of them, not the night they want at all. And here we go. Dylan Clark looking to the inside to try and take advantage. Can Clark stick this one off of 2? And the answer is yes. Under 45 laps to go here at Richmond, and Landon Lacey currently the race leader at the moment. We will step aside here, go side by side once again from Richmond Raceway, folks. Stay with us. entering the final stages here, entering the final laps here, I should say, of the Richmond 250. Glad you could join us for National Sim Racing League action. Been a very calm day today compared to a lot of other short tracks that we have been to this season. A lot of improved racing happening here today. Last yellow, by the way, came out around lap 190 when Caleb McCarthy got turned off of the bumper of David Smeal, I believe it was, and brought the yellow flag out. Again, been some great racing here so far tonight. Look at the 91 of Mark Sikosi, currently in the 5th position, as a couple of drivers are currently in the pits. You gotta watch Sikosi here a little bit closely on this run. Remember, Mark is not the best on a long run. Currently 40 laps into this run. When we were in 75, he went a lap down after being in 3rd. Look at the brake rotors on the left fronts. They are glowing big time. That's normal here, especially when we're under the lights at Richmond. We started this race, by the way, in the sunset, so it's been a day-to-night transition here in this race. Look at the number 5 of Aiden Berline, or sorry, it always gets me, the number 13. Don DeGroot also in the pits, along with Briggs Swope in the 7. And very interesting, Briggs Swope is pitted for fresh tires here in this situation. Could be what a lot of drivers are asking for at the moment. We'll have to see, though, if this is the plan. If drivers do take that risks and go for fresh tires here. Briggs Swope driving car number 7 in the playoffs. Again, was looking for his best finish of the year at Darlington, but crashed out and tied his best finish of the year, which was a 5th place finish, tying with Indianapolis a couple of weeks ago. Actually, correction, his best finish of the year was a 3rd coming at Myrtle Beach. Would have been his first podium since Myrtle Beach if he were able to nail it, and he had a great chance for a podium finish. Aiden Berline looking for his first podium of the season, and how about the job for Stan Mayberry? His 8th start of the season, and he's showing that he is a contender. Only 2 top 10 finishes and 1 top 5, 3 top 10s. Correction. Best finish in his debut, 5th at Worldwide Technology Raceway, and could up it here today with a 4th place finish. David Smeal Jr. having a great run, currently in the 6th position, his 11th start this season, and a 6th place finish for him would be tied for the 2nd best finish he has this season, along with Twin Ring Motegi. Best finish is a 2nd at New Hampshire, would be his 3rd top 10 of the season. Brian Preslar, you see there, driving the number 67. Been a rough race for him today as well, but he's definitely shown a little bit of signs of improvement. Currently running in the 8th position, 3 positions off from his best finish, which was 5th at Myrtle Beach. This would be his 10th top 10 of the season if he can finish in the 8th position. Surprisingly, he's been the worst driver with the DraftKings Racing squad today. However, though, after Josh Aaron spun and then Briggs Swope decided to come in and pit, surprisingly, he is currently the number 1 driver at the moment in the 8th position. Now, what Briggs Swope would not like to see at the moment is a caution flag to come out, because he is currently 2 laps down and would not receive the free pass. He would be trapped amongst the back markers at the moment. 6 drivers are currently on the lead lap, with Landon Lacey again continuing to lead by 4 seconds. He has led this entire race so far from wire to present. And if I recall correctly, we have yet to see a driver lead an entire race this season. Perhaps maybe except for the road courses. Now, I wouldn't include the road courses, and primarily that's because of Ashton Crowder, who has kicked a lot of butt at road courses this season. So, I don't know. Check with Mark Sikosi. He may post something on our Facebook page when we are done. All scattered out throughout the field. No battles really happening on your screen at the moment. If You want to see the closest battle. It's Susie and Bearline by about 1.6 seconds. At the moment, oh man. Close call for Josh Susie there as he got loose off at turn 2, which has pretty much been Calamity Corner this entire day today. 25 laps to go here as Landon Lacey leads. This is our final break of the evening. When we come back, we'll take you to the finish. Stay with us. Taking you to the final 20 laps here, commercial free in the National Sim Racing League at Richmond. Landon Lacey has dominated this one from start to today and is looking for another great win. This will be his 6th win of the season. Josh Susie will look for win number 7, which would tie Ashton Crowder for the most this season. It was a rough start for the majority of the KTS drivers. Some of them decided to start from the rear. Susie decided to start from pit lane. Susie had issues with the front end early in the race thanks to lap traffic from Alex Robinson, but somehow has recovered his way all the way up to second despite that valence being caved in just a little bit. And if we look at the 4 KTS drivers so far today, Dylan Clark's had a rough day, currently in 14th position. Kayla McCarthy was doing well inside the top 10, and then a couple of loosey-goosey situations where she's been nowhere to go or has been the innocent bystander has put her back to the 11th position. We can tell you, by the way, David Smeal has gone a lap down. Next guy to hit is Mark Stokosy. Look for that white and blue car. I think it just crossed the start-finish line. And it did. 23, 20, 22, 23 second lap times at Richmond on average. Tell you this, Briggs Swope is definitely closing the gap in for sure. He's running laps that are faster by a half second compared to the race leader. Compared to David Smeal, he is 15 seconds ahead. So I think his game plan at the moment is to try and get a lucky dog and then another caution, but that's going to be really tough here with 15 to go. But if we do get a caution flag, there will be a lot of patient pants that get taken off here on this restart, because if we do get a restart, because everyone being so aggressive. This time, he was nearly a full second faster. It won't give Briggs Swope away, but will definitely give him a good finish for sure. Taking a big risk, though, has put him up into the 8th position. He has gotten ahead of Brian Preslar by 5 seconds at the moment. So Briggs Swope, even with taking 4 tires, he is the latest guy to pit on lap 214. Josh Aaron tried a similar strategy on lap 208, but hasn't really worked out the best on his end either. One driver has pretty much been successful at it, and that's that 7 of Briggs Swope in not his DraftKings colors today, but supporting Corey LaJoie in the Nation's Guard machine. Either that or he just forgot to put on his NSRO car. Nope, he does have it. He does have it. He's got the playoff colors and has the windshield, the appropriate windshield now. So, 12 laps to go here in this race. Again, next week, Bristol, 300 laps around the Coliseum. In the last great Coliseum, what it's called at Bristol. Wish I could be headed there this spring for the dirt race. As Susie gets sideways once again. I wish I could be there for the dirt race. However, though, I have other plans that weekend that will keep me away from Bristol. I went to the dirt race last year. It was an experience I will never forget, for sure. I was definitely impressed with the racing NASCAR had, for sure. A lot of improvements. It's tough to put a 3,400-pound stock car on dirt, of course, but it's great. I love Bristol asphalt, though, over Bristol dirt. It's an experience unlike any other. I look forward to seeing what they've got coming up in the future. 9 laps to go for Landon Lacey again. He's led every lap so far in this race. This performance he is having reminds me a lot of what went down in Iowa. However, though, in Iowa, did not win the race. That race, by the way, at Iowa was Landon Lacey's debut. He led 140 of the 250 laps, did not win. At Gateway, led 126 of 200 laps and won. And at Twin Ring Motegi, led 100 of 134 laps and won. Another great dominant effort. We are getting a battle to close in. Aiden Berline has cut the deficit down to about a second. Let's see if we can take a look at the time delta. See how much it's closed in after that mistake that was made by Susie a couple laps ago off of turn number 1. How about we look at the lap times from the last 5 laps? Berline's been a little bit slower, though. The gap's going up to a second, so. Briggs Swope, by the way, going around the outside on Tyler Isley to take away 7th position on track. A great run by Briggs Swope after going for fresh tires to improve his spots out there. David Smeal is 9 seconds ahead. It won't be what it takes to get up to Smeal for P6. So 4 laps to go. Mark Sikosi just went a lap down a couple moments ago. The yellow comes out at this moment. It would put Sikosi back on the lead lap. However, though, Sikosi would go tail end for being the lucky dog. Susie, got to give credit to him. A great comeback for him. Aiden Berline, this would be his best finish of the season as long as he takes it scot-free to the finish line. An incredible performance by the driver of the 13, despite not leading any laps. Would be his best finish of the year. 2 laps to go for Landon Lacey. He'll lead all of them in this contest pretty much. If not, he'll lead all except single digits. And we're just going to go on board with them for the final 1.5 laps. There's the white final lap. There it is. Landon Lacey wins the Richmond 250 in a dominant performance. Sixth win of the season for the driver of the 53. David Smeal will give him a handshake to say good race. But an absolute blowout here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. Susie second, Bearline third, and Mayberry fourth, the only drivers on the lead lap. So we'll talk with our top three here, so stay tuned for that. Just got to get him to show up while Lacey lights them up. Ah, epic fail. Hits the wall. So I guess we'll start things off here as he's the first one in. Oh, actually, we'll get him in just a moment. We'll start with our third place finisher, Aiden Bearline. Aiden, just walk us through your race. It was your best finish of the year, and you were racing up there with Lacey pretty well in the short run, but in the long run, he just got the best of you.
Yeah, I think it all just came down to experience and who made the less amount of mistakes. And of course, he's got like probably a couple thousand more laps, if not, 40,000 more laps on me on asphalt. So I was just taking a second, especially in long runs. I was just willing to just take a second place. We went to the pits and got caught for speeding, going like 1 mile per hour over, which sent us to the rear. And then thankfully we had a yellow come out at the right moment, which helped us get to the back of the lead cars, and we were able to go around. But by then, Joshua, who was about the same speed as me, got in between me and Landon, and I just couldn't catch him in time.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to tonight? You got the Aiden Bearline fan club watching on Twitch.
Well, first off, I want to thank, of course, Jesus Christ, my mom and my dad for always supporting me every single race and watching the races 24/7, and just everyone who helps me out.
All
Yeah.
right. All right, we'll let you go. Congrats on a great run tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Aiden Bearline with a third place finish tonight. Let's go to Josh Susi here, your second place finisher. Josh, how were you able to, you know what, I'm not going to ask how you were able to make your way up from the rear to the front, because I know the answer. It's JFS. All right, I'm going to ask literally, how were you able to make your way up from the back to the front? That was an incredible comeback for you tonight after all that went down.
Yeah, I mean, just had a really good setup, and unfortunately, my daughter decided to spill milk during qualifying, so I wasn't able to get a lap in. I didn't want to start mid-pack, so I started in the pits, half a lap down. Got caught up in a driver's mess trying to let people by in a really weird way, and that gave me a minute 20 damage with some engine damage. So over the course of the yellows and the stages, I was able to fix that mostly up, and yeah, I started half a lap down twice, once on the back of the field, and I was able to drive my way up to second. It was a long night, like I said, down on horsepower, so that didn't help. I think that was the difference. And man, Landon had the golden horseshoe with him because he had a massive lane change on the lap 162 restart that didn't get called on him, and that could have made the difference in the finish. But we'll never know. He count his lucky stars on that one, and real good night for the car, solid. Not much more I can ask for.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on your run tonight?
Yeah, everyone at KTS. We had tough luck for the other guys tonight, but keep digging, make it to the next round here. So I think they're in good points positions. Obviously, everyone at Nitro Setup Shops, big shout out to them, and all the hard work they do, and Geez, I'm drawing a blank here. But anyway, everyone on the team, uh, everyone that contributes, we had a pretty decent field tonight. That was good to see. As always, you, buddy, greatly appreciate you coming on here and broadcasting for us. It was a good time, and I hope we put on a good show. It wasn't too many cautions for a short track. Might be a little different next week at Bristol, but we'll see. I'm
Yeah.
glad I don't have to worry about making points in that one
Yeah, be
because
glad. Thank goodness.
I could easily get wrecked out by a halfway point, and you never know with Bristol. But I'm looking forward to it. Got some pretty good speed there, done some testing, so you know, always digging for that long run. I think we got something dialed in pretty good. We'll see.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll let you go, man. Great job tonight.
Thanks, man.
Josh Susi finishing second place tonight. And now it's time to go to victory lane. I'm just going to let him speak because he busted his ass off. He took the field to school. I don't know what he weighs. I don't know how tall he is, but he pretty much went all WWE on the field and just took everyone to school. Just give him the heavyweight belt. Landon Lacey pretty much leading all 250 laps, if not anything else in single digits. The mic is yours.
Well, thank you. That was probably one of the most interesting entrances I think I've had in a while. No, just worked really hard on the setup throughout the week. I had a week off last week, so had a lot of time to prep for Richmond, and Richmond is actually, if it's not my favorite track on the sim, it's tied with probably Dover. Um, but I absolutely love this racetrack. I love the way it races. Um, and work paid off. Thanks to all the guys at KTS and Posse Racing for putting in some good work this week on building the set.
What do you take away from this race? I mean, I know you're a non-playoff driver. You're just here to win the races and have a good time. But how was your car in the long run as a whole? And what's the mindset
Um,
like during all those long runs?
I mean the car was a little bit loose entry tied off. But as the run progressed and had some more brake heat in it, it seemed like, um, that those I got rid of the loose entry, still kind of had the tied off. Um, but I think being tied off tonight was a lot better than being loose off like I saw a couple guys. So I think that really helped us. And I'm sorry, what was the second part of your question?
What's the mindset like for a driver when you have a long run like that? All these long runs.
I mean there at the end it was grueling because I had a feeling in my stomach that I'm gonna get down here to less than 5 to go and a caution's gonna come out and it's gonna shake up the whole thing. It's just a lot goes on in your head and you're not really ready for it. But I've been in this situation quite a couple times this season, so it's gotten easier and easier every time. To settle myself down and not think about all the negatives that could possibly go on. But it still sits there in the back of your mind.
Who do you want to give? Actually, before I do that, next week, Bristol Motor Speedway, chaotic short track. You don't know what to expect. Tempers are gonna flare. What's the outlook like?
For me, Bristol's kind of a wild card race. It's a short track that races almost like a super speedway. So, um, it's gonna be, lap traffic's gonna be probably a bigger thing there than it is here, tonight. So, navigating lap traffic is always key, but it's super key at Bristol because it's so hard to pass people, just depending on where they're running. So
Yeah.
we'll just have to see how that plays out.
Who do you want to give shout outs to tonight?
Yeah, huge shout out to Edge Setup Shop as always, and Martin Sports. Um, I'm enjoying having these guys along the ride and looking forward to an extension here soon with Martin Sports. Um, we're having talks here, I believe it's the beginning of next week, so hopefully that all goes well. Thank you to Mark and all the admins that put this on every week. Thank you to you for putting on the broadcast every week. Thank you to everybody in the league. Tonight was absolutely amazing to run on a short track and not. I know we had some cautions, but it was a lot less than what I was expecting. I think we ran stage two, wire to wire. So congrats on everybody tonight for running a good, clean race.
All right.
Um,
Yeah.
thanks to my teammates at KTS. Thanks to everybody at Charge Racing. And other than that, thank you to everybody that's gotten me here to this point.
All right, we'll let you go. Congrats on the win tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Landon Lacey with his 6th win of the season. And a big one for him tonight. Give you your official race results. And it is Susie Bearline and Mayberry that remain on the lead lap. Last place. So we give you your final 3 positions. Brian Wiggins, Justin Diltz, Alex Robinson, 19th through 21st. So that'll do it for us here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. And again, next week, the Thunder Valley 300 at Bristol, baby. You don't want to miss it. 8:45 the start time here on the National Sim Racing League Facebook page and twitch.tv/Marty Sakala. On behalf of all the sponsors and the drivers of the National Sim Racing League, including our admins from Justin Diltz to Mark Sikosi, in race control tonight was Chris Lynn, as well as, I forgot the other guy, but he'll be back next season. I'll give his name Misery TV. Marty Sakala signing off. Your race winner tonight, Landon Lacey, here at Richmond. So